Morning, Mr. Jim, Reverend Jim. How you doing?
Good morning. Thanks for having me back. I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing fine. So I never dreamt I'd have this headline hit my desk. I mean, seriously, it shocked me.
It really is something to celebrate, and something that we never, like you said, never thought we would ever celebrate. I just, it's hard to ever see the day coming when the Democrats would lose their pet industry, or at least, they'd lose their grip on it. We're seeing the rats running from a sinking ship called abortion, or the abortion industry, namely Planned Parenthood, the biggest abortion business on the planet. Mm-hmm. They provide 40% of all abortions in America, and the biggest aspect of Planned Parenthood in America is in California. They're losing $300 million in funding, and this comes from the Medicaid funding that, of course, represents 80% of their budget. They're not going to survive this year.
Yeah,
I mean, that's $25 million a month, and of course, Gavin Newsom can't cover the gap because he's got a $12 billion state budget shortfall. He's running from them too.
He doesn't know what he's doing.
No, of course not. He's basically a communist in Democrat clothes. Mm-hmm. And of course, Planned Parenthood, is crying foul like some kind of weird injustice is happening to them, when in reality, they are the perpetrators of the greatest injustice the world has ever seen. They are conspiring with a communist culture and government, elected officials in charge of the Democrat Party, that to essentially declassify, dehumanize an entire category of human being from protection under the law, and that's preborn boys and girls. And it's time for them to go away. They have been not just unethically abusing medicine, masquerading as medical providers, but they are essentially undermining the basic unit of all society, which is the family, by destroying. They've got this other product, this transgender hormone therapy product that they're thinking is going to help them with the shortfall, but it can't. They're saying, 10% of what we do is abortion. Well, if that were the case, then why are they closing? They've closed 109 different offices that I'm aware of across the country in the last 18 months, and most of them are in abortion hub states like New York. And New York provides the highest Medicaid reimbursements, and they gave Planned Parenthood $100 million in taxpayer funds just from New Yorkers last year. Kathy Hochul did, and they're closing their headquarters operation in Manhattan. They're selling the building for $39 million. This is not about. They're trying to lay the financial burden or the reason why they're closing on the Big Beautiful Bill Act. That's not why they're closing. They're closing because they're unethical and they're being propped up by the government. Pregnancy centers, pro-life pregnancy centers that provide $400 million for the free services to women every year, including medical care. We don't get hardly any government money. Now, this is a perfect example of thrift and compassion. And you look at Planned Parenthood; all they do is abortion for a fee, and no one in the grassroots movement is supporting Planned Parenthood in the abortion industry. They require government funding. They're basically a de facto government agency. And so when the government comes along and says, "Oh, you know what? We're not going to fund you anymore," they have to rely on the judiciary and rogue justices to intervene, like this Judge Talwani out of Massachusetts, who issued a temporary restraining order against the Big Beautiful Bill Act and tries to force Congress to fund an agency that they don't want to fund. It totally is a total power grab. It's totally undermining the rule of law and the separation of powers.
Well, a lot of people are saying it's a power grab on behalf of the government to take health care away from women. It's not health care for the baby, and it's not health care for the mother. It's her. It's legal murder is what it is. But the bottom line here is the taxpayers do not want to pay for your abortion. And if you are on Medicaid, there are ways to not get pregnant that you should probably figure out, because we don't want to pay for your abortions. It's against our religion, for one thing, and we should not have to sacrifice our personal reasons for being against it because you are living off the government's dime. Right.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's very unpopular for people to say, look, believe what you want about the morality of abortion. Most people don't want to pay for it. If you want to pay for an abortion, go get your go get your own abortion. But the reality is, it's going to hurt. It's not only going to hurt the baby. Obviously, it's just going to kill the baby, but it's going to hurt you too. Mm-hmm. And beyond that, it's going to hurt the people around you and the country. I mean, I hate to sound. I don't know. This might come out a little harsh, but look, our country has a baby shortage. We don't need abortion. Just if you're just pure economics, if you're just a pure fiscal conservative, you don't give a rat's patoot about morality. You should be very concerned, because the basic unit of an economy is not a dollar. The basic unit of an economy is a productive human being. And so when you allow for abortion and our fertility rates are tanking, we're below, for the first time, below 1.6, meaning replacement of our population is 2.1. You solve the border crisis, and then which we have, by the way, in large part. What's going to happen is the nation's population is going to start to age quickly and start to shrink. And for the first time in the history of China, they started to see their population shrink. People need to start understanding that the basic unit of a society is the family, a male father, a female mother, and those two getting married and having kids. Without that, you're not going to have a sustainable economic model. I don't care how many tax cuts you give. I don't care how many incentives you give for people to start to work. If you don't have a workforce, and a workforce that's being reared and by family units all across this country, you're just putting a Band-Aid on it. So we've got a lot of opportunities, a lot of, I think, hope for America in the future. But we've got to get back to what it means to be human under God.
Well, and back to California and the topic this morning that Planned Parenthood is closing. I mean, when I saw the headline, I could not believe it. And $300 million flushed down the federal toilet. That's a lot of money that can go to help people who are already here take care of their babies. Exactly.
Planned Parenthood is doing no good service. But people think that, when Planned Parenthood closes, women are going to be they're not going to have access to health care, medical care, or choice, or whatever. There are, that public health clinics outnumber Planned Parenthood by 15 to 1 or something. Plus, you've got pregnancy centers that are standing ready to help anybody that comes to their doors at any time with as many resources as they possibly can harness on their behalf. This happens all the time. Millions of women every year are served by pregnancy centers all across this country. And in addition to that, you've got these public health centers that can provide additional medical care. There is not a shortage of health care and medical care for women facing unplanned pregnancy. This is just not.
Yeah.
So, we don't need Planned Parenthood that specializes only in the destruction of human life.
Yeah, and here in Cape, we have a place where women can go to actually live for 2 years, get their life in check, and raise their baby, have their baby, and get on their feet, and they can live there for free.
Yeah, right. This is the power of the community, when the community comes together and realizes that they are radically responsible for their neighbor. Just like Jesus said in the Good Samaritan, we are radically responsible for each other. It is not the government's job to create a system to care for our neighbors. The Democrats like to point their finger and say, look, we've got to create a system to take care of the homeless. We've got to create a system to take care of education. We've got to create a system to take care of medical care. We need to get back to the truth that it's just you and me. I'm radically responsible for my neighbor. Whoever I find, when I'm walking down the road of life, the Jericho Road of life, and I see somebody beaten and left for dead, it's my job. It's not the government's job. I mean, everybody, the religious leaders, the government leaders, those in power, in that biblical story, in the parable, we're all walking around on the other side. They must have thought to themselves it's somebody else's job. Somebody else will take care of that person. Well, we are responsible. And I think what you're describing with this home that allows for children and women to stay with them for 2 years is a perfect example of what we need to get back to. We don't need more government. We need more people taking radical responsibility for each other,
including the mothers who are getting pregnant. I mean, let's have some self-credibility as well. Now, if you're a super young girl, you're freaked out, you don't know what you're going to do, you're being pressured by your parents or by your boyfriend or just by society overall. You're scared. You don't know what to do. When you go to one of those centers, it's all a blur. And you are so scared and so confused, and you're not in there to be vindictive to kill this baby. You just don't know what else to do. So we've got to have viable options for these young women, not just, scorn them and call them demons and whatever else you want to do. You got to remember, there's a lot of thought that goes into this for most women who go through with an abortion. So we have to take that part of the human aspect into consideration as well.
Exactly. When a woman faces an unplanned pregnancy, she doesn't care about choice. She's not thinking about politics. She's thinking about, how am I going to make it? How can I survive? And so she's in fight or flight mode. I've got to get out from her knees. She is stuck. She says, I'm trapped. I've got to have an abortion. So this is kind of a knee-jerk reaction first. Somebody needs to come alongside of her. And pregnancy centers do this really well. Someone needs to come alongside of her with compassion and care and give her essentially a place where she can kind of, emotionally back away and say, okay, I've got time. I can think about this. Let me look at it from all the different angles. Here are my options. And she can oftentimes walk away from that initial appointment with the pregnancy center and say, I see now how it's possible for me to have this baby and continue my education and continue my career and whatever the case might be. And that's the third narrative, because the abortion industry basically says, oh no, if you have this baby, then you're going to live a life of destitution for the rest of your life. But if you have the abortion, well, then all your wildest dreams will come true. But it's just that's just not reality.
Right.
The third narrative is reality, and that's what pregnancy centers are here for.
Yeah, and I hope that people are listening. Planned Parenthood has been cut off in California. Trump has made promises. He is keeping them, and this is one of them. If you disagree with it, that's fine. You can donate to whatever you want to donate to, whatever your Christian heart or non-Christian heart believes. There is a way for you to do what you want to do in states where it's still allowed. So don't act like the fact that the government's not going to pay for it is taking away people's rights, because it's not. And state by state, people are speaking, and they are making decisions. Now watch your ballot initiatives, because they sometimes word them to mean what they don't mean, and just be careful. Jim, I'm out of time. Where do they go to learn more about Compass Care?
You can go to compasscarecommunity.com to learn more about how Compass Care is saving women and babies from abortion.
And please go take a look, and if you know somebody who's struggling with this, who's scared and doesn't know what else to do, just sit down for a minute and talk to them about their options. You might save a life. Jim, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.